Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is on the way. It's practically Top Gun Maverick 2.0. And yet, the Hollywood intelligentsia is telling us that this is a movie destined to underperform. That's right, they have this thing pegged down there around what we saw with The Flash, maybe even lower. But I'm here to tell you, based on what I'm looking at, I think Hollywood is measuring with the wrong stick. They do not understand what is coming for them. And we're going to go out on a limb today and show you why I think Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning may be the hit of the summer. All right, folks, welcome back to another video of excellence here on the WDW Pro channel. It is a joy that you have chosen to spend your time with me today, and I hope to make it fruitful. I hope to explain entertainment and keep you ahead of the culture curve. Today with what I believe to be very good news. Now, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and you can stick it to the algorithms. When you click it, it's the notification bell. Today we're diving into the issues of Mission Impossible 7. That's Dead Reckoning, coming out only 12 days after Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Let's dive in and find out why Hollywood believes this movie is not going to be the premiere film, and yet I see parallels, folks, between this and Top Gun Maverick. In fact, it might as well be a sequel. Here we go. Starting off to show you why I believe that this film will do quite well, we need to set the tone. And this is a great article out of Variety to set the tone by Zach Sharf. Tom Cruise shot Mission Impossible 7 motorcycle stunt on day one. So the crew would know, do we continue or is it a major rewrite if I fail? And by fail, he means die. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 director Christopher McQuarrie made headlines at the start of June after revealing to Empire magazine that Tom Cruise's insane motorcycle stunt was shot on the first day of filming. The stunt, billed as the most death-defying one of Cruise's acting career thus far, finds Cruise riding a motorcycle off the edge of a cliff and then parachuting to safety while in free fall. Doing that on day one gave us all the time in the world to understand why he was doing what he was doing, McQuarrie told the publication. If we sat around and tried to figure out these movies the old-fashioned way, you'd never find it because it's such a living, breathing thing. For Tom Cruise, however, there was a far more practical reason for putting the motorcycle stunt on the first day of the Mission Impossible 7 shoot. If production on the $200 million plus tentpole, and let's pause there, folks. This is what I love about the article. It throws this in there. What does this look like in comparison to what we have seen out of the Disney films? Well, if you've been paying attention to this channel, you know that the Disney films turn out to be something like $300, $350 or more million on their production budgets. And that is why when Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning comes out, we will judge it slightly differently. Although I anticipate it's going to outpace the Disney films of this year, and perhaps dramatically. The reason that we have to judge it differently is because the budget is quite drastically shifted downward. They're making this movie for far less than the Disney films are made for. As a comparison, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny has a minimum $332 million production budget alone. Anyway, let's continue on. Production on the $200 million plus tentpole was already underway, and Cruise got severely injured or died because of the motorcycle stunt, then a lot of money would have been wasted. Cruise suffered an ankle injury on Mission Impossible 6 that impacted production, but riding a motorcycle off a cliff was far deadlier than any mission stunt prior. Well, we know either we will continue with the film or we're not. Let's know day one. Cruise recently told Entertainment Tonight about filming the stunt at the very start of production. Let us know day one what is going to happen. Do we all continue or is it a major rewrite? I was training and I was ready, Cruise added. You have to be razor sharp when you're doing something like that. It was very important as we were prepping the film that it was actually the first thing. I don't want to drop that and go shoot other things and have my mind somewhere else. Everyone was prepped. Let's just get it done. And of course, it goes on to talk about the situation with the movie. It's quite something, though, that Hollywood believes that even after this kind of marketing, this kind of messaging, that Mission Impossible 7 will not do well. But let's get into that. Paramount lights the fuse with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 screening Cine Europe, this by Nancy Tartaglione out of Deadline. Now, we go to this because this is what we are now starting up. We are just now starting to see the marketing for this film ramp up to what it should be the traditional way of doing the press tours, etc. Paramount President of International Theatrical Distribution, Mark Viane, or Viane, kicked off the Studio Cine Europe presentation with his annual fun pre-taped video, this time essaying the role of Mission Impossible's Ethan Hunt before appearing on stage dragging a parachute behind him in an homage to Tom Cruise's latest spectacular stunt in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. After shedding the accessories, Vianney or Vian or Vianney or, well, we'll just call him Vinny. Vinny declared the movie industry is resilient and noted, buying a movie ticket is the best value for out-of-home entertainment. Theatrical movies must be presented to provide the best experience possible, he told the audience of exhibitors, and PLF screens are clearly the winning formula. Now, why are they out there pitching this for theaters? Well, because at the same time that Mission Impossible is coming out, you have some outlets out there saying that because of the lackluster reception of Disney movies, that theaters are dying. They are ignoring the fact that we've seen quite a bit of success out of Mario, quite a bit of success out of Avatar: The Way of Water, which, by the way, is tangentially part of Disney. We've seen great successes out of many of these films, and, give credit where it's due, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has done well.
Make sure to catch The Pro Show, Thursdays 5 to 7 Eastern Time. Entertainment Explained, The Culture Curve Conquered, live with Pro and all his friends.
But they want to pursue this narrative that theaters are failing because their preferred movies are not doing well. We're talking about Elemental. We're talking about The Flash, etc. They want to put forth this narrative, and so that is being pushed back against by the folks over there with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Now, Hollywood is not thinking that this is going to do very well, and I'm looking forward to showing you this because I'm going to give you the tools to understand what I think is going on here. Before we do, let's read the article to understand just how poorly Hollywood believes that this will go for. Out of Bounding into Comics by John Trent. Long-range box office predictions for Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 look extremely low. Long-range box office predictions for the upcoming Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 film are here, and they look extremely low. Box office tracking and analyst website Box Office Pro shared their early projections that the film will bring in between $65 million and an $80 million opening for its 3-day weekend. Now, folks, that would put it in line with what they believed The Flash would do. They go on to predict the film will have an entire domestic box office gross between $250 million and $320 million. And I tell you this, that might be the highest grossing Mission Impossible film domestically, but adjusted for inflation and the fact that movie ticket prices have exceeded historic inflation means it would be quite the disappointment. These projections are far below what the site initially predicted The Flash would bring in. They predicted back on May 19th that The Flash would have an opening weekend between $150 million and $140 million and go on to have a domestic gross total between $280 and $375. Of course, it did not. Those projections would be significantly lower than the week of The Flash's release. On June 14th, the outlet predicted the film would have an opening weekend between $60 million and $80 million. The movie would perform far worse than even that anemic prediction, only bringing in $55 million in its opening weekend. Notice the downgrade. High end 140, actual comes in at 55. As for why they predict Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 to only have an opening weekend between $65 million and $80 million, Box Office Pro explains selling points for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 include not only the critical and commercial success of its 2018 predecessor, Mission Impossible Fallout, but the enormous goodwill earned by Tom Cruise from last year's Top Gun Maverick. Well, then why are you not projecting this far higher? This is looking very much like what happened with Top Gun Maverick, where it was predicted to come in at a lower level. It came in then a little soft, perhaps because the Hollywood narratives had lowered the expectations for the film, and then it did so well for so long, and it was tremendous. And I think we may get this exact same situation out of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, although it will be hampered by the fact that it cannot run the entire summer. Coming out in July significantly curtails its ability to do what Top Gun Maverick did, because it's going to hit late August, September, etc., when it's more difficult to pull in large revenues out of the theaters. They also note that the pre-sales are trending 8% higher than John Wick Chapter 4, but 15% behind Fast X. Now, here's why none of that actually matters, folks. Let's go to the data. Let's just take a look, and I'm going to show you what's happening here. You see, Box Office Pro is likely using pre-sales for tickets. We're talking about reservations, people wanting to make sure they get a chance to go see the movie in the theaters on day 1, day 2, etc. Now, I think that the audience for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning likely skews more into the older demographics, not to say old, folks, I'm not calling anybody out there old, but the older demographics. And I also think that it probably skews more conservative, right? We're not talking about politics, we're talking about values. We're talking about mindsets. Now, why does that matter? Well, I think those groups are the least likely to reserve tickets early. And so what I wanted to do was, I wanted to take a look at how is the internet buzz going for the lead actors behind these movies? Because, let me explain why I did this. This is Google Trends, by the way. We're searching for search terms inside Google that have been going on for the last 90 days. And the reason that I did this is because it is easy to search for movies and think that you're getting internet buzz for a film that would indicate how many people are going to go see it. But that's sort of corrupted, because if you search for, let's say, Indiana Jones, one of the issues that you have is that people are reading how bad it is. And that's driving much of the coverage of it and much of the searching online for it. And it's the same thing with The Flash. But what we could do is, because Tom Cruise is said to be one of the last big movie stars, because he is a huge celebrity, and because his persona alone may drive significant numbers of audience members to go see the movie, simply because he was in Top Gun Maverick 2 and they loved it. Tom Cruise is a search term that we can use to figure out what kind of buzz is going on. And he is inextricably connected to this upcoming film. Searching for Tom Cruise is essentially searching for Mission Impossible at this time. Now, what we find out here is that if we look over the last 90 days, we search for Tom Cruise, Harrison Ford, Ezra Miller, of course, of The Flash, Michael Keaton of The Flash, just to make sure that we're weeding out the issues of Ezra Miller, and then Halle Bailey, because she was in The Little Mermaid. And also, she was picking up tons of interest because of all the controversy surrounding that film, and some controversies that she perhaps instigated. Now, if we take a look at interest over time down here, what do we see? Well, let's look at the average. The average is that Tom Cruise is pulling in 35% of the 100%, which, by the way, he set back on May 28th. But he's pulling in, on average, 35% of that maximum search total. Harrison Ford is pulling in 18% of Tom Cruise's total 100 that he picked up on May 28th. Ezra Miller, only 11%. Michael Keaton, 7%. Halle Bailey, 16%. So our closest ones are Harrison Ford and Halle Bailey, who essentially come in at half of the search engine results for Tom Cruise, half of the interest, half of the buzz online. And folks, I believe that translates to something that the experts over there at Box Office Pro, the experts behind the Hollywood intelligentsia, simply are missing. They are not seeing that not Top Gun, well, maybe Top Gun 2, they are not seeing that Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning could be the biggest movie of the summer. Am I saying that will happen? No, but I'm saying that the likelihood is increasing, not decreasing. And I'm saying that they are missing the best measurement tool they have for this situation, a situation where they cannot use the traditional ways of determining what the audience level will be, because this is being aimed now at demographics that do not play by the same rules as the average moviegoer who has been catered to over the last many years. And now there's a bigger audience out there coming to watch Tom Cruise and coming to watch Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, aka Top Gun Maverick 2.0. Well, folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and you can stick it to the algorithms when you click it. We're talking about that notification bell. This was a video that was selected, the topic, by members of the channel. If you would like to be a member of the channel, there's a little join button that you can click to become a part of this community of people. The electricity that drives all of this. It's the price of a soda. You'll get tons of exclusive content. And don't forget that the Pro Show is Thursdays, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, every single Thursday. A live panel of experts right there to help us explain entertainment and keep you ahead of the culture curve. Now, my commentary on this situation is over. Tell me what you think, though. Am I right? Am I wrong? What will Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning do at theaters? Perhaps it will do great, perhaps it won't, but I care about what you think. And I don't know it unless you give me your ideas. Well, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
I just found out to get WDW Pro's information, where he gets his sources. I can't believe he uses Wilton!
What?
We got a job to do. It's easy to hack into WDW Pro's computer.
You're kidding me. That's awesome. You know any other stuff?
Yeah, just Jonas Campbell told me.
Sweet.
Said Pro underpaid him or something.
A few minutes later.
There. Oh, awesome. Whatever. All I gotta do is
Whoa.
hack into this thing. It's gonna be so easy.
Yeah, this isn't
All
a
right,
hack.
grab this picture over here.
Leave it to me.
Oh, no. Oh, Wilson.
Job done. What?
No, all we had to do was use the picture because he uses face unlock. Now we gotta go to thatpartplace.com and sub to him and his team on YouTube.
Oh, well, I already did that because I'm smart.